Oh, hello everyone. My name is Tanya. I'm with the Grow Nebraska Foundation. I work in the the membership department, and I'm also at the Buffalo County Fair this week. So if you are in the Kearney area, please come and visit me. I'd love to chat with you more. But today we have our free monthly webinar. And our webinar today is The Power of Storytelling, emphasizing the human connection between your brand and your customers. And then I'd like to thank Center for Rural Affairs for sponsoring our webinar, and Nikki with their one of their loan specialists has a quick video here for us.
Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar, sponsored by the Center for Rural Affairs. My name is Nikki Chitwood, and I'm the Panhandle Loan Specialist. As one of the many services we provide, I am here to introduce to you our lending services. When a bank can't help you with your dreams of homeownership or growing a business, the Center for Rural Affairs can. We offer coaching and financing to help you become a homeowner and start or grow a sustainable business. Please feel free to contact me at 308-631-0157, or you can visit cfra.org for more information.
Center for Rural Affairs is a really great resource. They're a statewide resource across Nebraska, and so definitely check them out if you're needing even a small business loan or just even assistance with, I think they help with business plans, things of that. So they do provide some free resources as well. And Nebraska is full of them. So please feel free to reach out to us if you're needing some assistance on getting connected to some other resources as well. And then our featured sponsor this month is Nebraska Cooperative Development Center. And so we'd like to thank them for being a sponsor of our Grow Nebraska Foundation. And then our featured member is Cracklin Kirk's Fireworks for the month of July. And they've been a member with us since 2019. And they have fireworks in Donovan and the Trumbull area. So kind of in that Grand Island area, but definitely check them out for all your firework items next year. And then this week's presenter is Regina, and I'm just going to let her take it away, but she is with FNBO out of Omaha, and so I will let her introduce herself and then get started on her presentation.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me make sure this is working. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm excited to talk to you today about the power of storytelling. I have been at FNBO for, make sure this, all right, that my presentation's going, there we go. Okay, there's a picture. I'm Regina DeMars, and I've been at FNBO for almost 9 years. And for those that aren't as familiar with FNBO, we've been around for over 166 years. So I get the pleasure of telling all the stories that of impact that we're having across our markets, and there are a lot of them. So I'm going to walk through today some of my favorite ones that I think are really compelling, and hopefully you'll get a good sense of the type of stories that you can tell for your brand or the services that you provide. And just included a little picture down here. This is my family, my husband, my 2 sons, and our dog, Roxy. Seems like it's lagging a little bit, but hopefully it'll work. So like I said, we get to talk about so many stories on our social media channels. And one of my favorite stories that takes me back a long time, I lived in New York City. I started my career at a PR agency, and one friend that I met, she was actually from Nebraska, but met her in New York, and we would talk about her dreams of opening up a small business, moving back to Omaha someday, and she really wanted to open up a boutique, and she would draw, what it was going to look like and the types of clothing that she would have, the brand she wanted. And we just kind of laughed that, 20 years later, she has two local boutiques in Omaha, and she was able to have her dreams become a reality because FNBO helped finance her dreams. So it's just a fun story that, comes full circle. Now I'm at FNBO and I've been able to share her story on social media. I've highlighted her on our FNBO channels as well as just on my personal LinkedIn. So just a fun way to show that you can just keep telling those compelling stories. So we have so many. If you follow any of our channels, you will see a lot of them, but we tell our small business customer stories, whether it's restaurants, coffee shops, our ag partnerships. We love featuring our ag clients and just kind of talking about how long they've been in the business, the generations. It's just really compelling. I grew up actually somewhat by Kearney, by York, and on a farm. So I love telling our ag stories. First-time home buyers, it's always fun to hear their stories and share those on social media. And we do a lot in the community. So we talk about our nonprofit organizations that we partner with as well. And one feature we did today, it's National Intern Day. And so we featured our summer intern on our social media channels, did a little video with her, like a day in the life. So we could help people understand different roles at the bank. So we also do day in the life videos often, just so people can understand that, what all the job opportunities are at a bank. It's when I worked at ConAgra for 10 years. And when I left there, I was like, oh, what, do you have to have a financial background to work at a bank? So it's a fun way just to help people understand all the different roles that you can have in marketing and HR, in card partnership, small business, mortgage. Like there's just so many different roles that we can feature and help people understand the job opportunities that we can provide. Okay. Don't know if it's our internet service, but it's very slow today. Well, I'll just kind of talk to what I have on this slide. Typically, it's really why brands should bother telling stories in the first place. So storytelling can be one of the most effective communication styles. Audiences find stories relatable, and that helps really build strong brand engagement. And to draw audiences in, you must, focus on the real world impact that your stories can have. Think about the brands that you can't live without. Think about everything that you're, when you're buying on Amazon or shopping online, what are the brands that you have that emotional connection with and really have that loyalty? And it doesn't matter what you're going to buy, continue to buy that brand. Okay, there it is. Sorry, I don't know why this isn't coming up. Okay, so as I mentioned at FNBO, we really believe in telling our customers stories. So we showcase the value of the business relationships that we've fostered with our customers. We love helping our customers' dreams come true and sharing their stories. We also actively engage influencers and have a really strong employee brand ambassador program that bring a lot of these elements to life in the stories that we tell. From an influencer perspective, we have partnered with some athletes. From an NIL perspective, we have a strong relationship with a lot of collegiate partners. So when NIL kind of came about a couple years ago, it was just a natural extension for us to engage those athletes to help, tell our brand story, tell why we're the Bank of Husker Nation, and reach kind of that younger demographic. And we've also partnered with some lifestyle and financial influencers just to help help promote the advice and guidance content that we're already creating. So there's some key elements to telling a successful story. So the characters, the conflict, and the resolution. So when we are helping create these stories to make them be compelling, we're not just focusing on, everything that's great about the business. We want to create that connection and talk about the real life challenges that our customers go through and how we've helped them achieve them. Okay. Stories really help us connect with our customers and build that trust in our brand. So we know that, being authentic really helps kind of build that trust and that credibility. Kind of what I was talking about, if you are shopping on Amazon, think about, are you more likely to buy a product that doesn't have any reviews, or do you kind of look through those reviews, see what other people have said that have bought those products, or, a service when you're looking for, maybe a new real estate agent online. Hopefully you're looking at the reviews. You should be looking at the reviews because it's a great way to understand, credibility in a product or a service in a pretty easy way. So when we're crafting those stories, we want to make sure we understand our customers' needs and talk about how FNBO can help them, move that relationship from just kind of transactional and make it more of an emotional connection. And hopefully, if someone already has a relationship with us, we want to extend it, extend that relationship. So if you have a checking account, we'd really love, for you to have a credit card or, find a mortgage with us. And just, again, thinking about how we can build that relationship deeper with our customers. So here's one example. I know my presentation is kind of lagging, so hopefully this will work, but I have a quick video that I'd like to show a little bit of it. So just some background, Bianchi is a small business customer of ours, and Nick, the owner, has been a customer for a very long time. He started his candle business when he was only 12 years old out of his kitchen at home, his mom's kitchen, and went from kind of creating these for a dozen of his friends to now he's creating thousands of them. So he's had a relationship from a checking account to a savings account to becoming a small business partner, credit card line. And he kind of just talks about how FNBO has helped him be able to focus on his passion while we focus on, helping him solve problems from a financial perspective. So I'll just share a couple minutes of this video so you can understand a little more about his story and how we create these stories with our partners, because the ultimate goal is we want people to see these and say, oh, okay, well, I'm interested in starting a small business customer, and here's an example of how FNBO has helped this customer. We want people to say, hey, that FNBO gets their customers, they understand them, they're willing to work through problems and help them problem solve so they can build and grow their company. And this video was one that our creative team developed in conjunction with our customer, Nick Bianchi.
It's been a struggle starting from zero. first tour, it was nothing but support. Whether they wanted the candles, whether they were just supporting some kid, sure, it was still support. And it was times, whether it's the guy that we go for or they never looked at me as you're the 13 that's starting a business. They always looked at me as you're into it, you want to be playing with the big guys. Let's do this and see what happens. Every single struggle that we've had, there's been this experience inside this company that I've it's definitely one of the biggest struggles. It's like that's cute. It's like now that's actually she does everything to get that testing done to make sure we have the right cable for her because we want our products to be much more percent. That's what we the details do really matter. Even so as the flight is on your it's made by certain materials, so it's like so those little aspects of
Hey, Regina, the audio is cutting in and out for us.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It sounded fine on my end, but I was worried about it because my PowerPoints aren't even loading. I'm not sure why. Okay, well, I can always send this out. But basically I wanted everyone to understand just again how we're helping craft these stories with our partners and share them out across our social media channels, just so people understand everything that goes into the business and how from a financial perspective we can help them. So hopefully when I send it out, you guys will be able to access it. I could send a separate link as well. So no, there's no more videos. So hopefully you'll be able to see the rest. I know I tested this before too, so I'm not sure. Just extremely slow. Okay, well, hopefully this image will come up, but it's basically just a few images and examples of small business customers that we featured. And we tie these a lot to national trending holidays. So when you see this presentation, there's an ice cream cone. We featured Dairy Chef in Omaha earlier this week for National Ice Cream Day. We've featured Nebraska Diamond, Topeka Alato, Fia Bell. So it really runs the gamut on the type of customers that we feature, a lot of coffee shops, but we really are intentional about how the FNBO story is woven in with our customer stories. We feature these a lot on Instagram and on TikTok. And again, it's just a great way to help drive awareness and business for our small business customers, as well as hopefully if someone is interested in starting their own business, they have a chance to see these and say, oh, wow, they really have a strong partnership and relationship and care about helping them grow their business. Okay, there they are. Okay, a different type of storytelling. Just wanted to share our 30-yard kick for cash example. So this was actually hosted at a Husker football game. If anybody Husker fans out there, or if you've been to the game and saw this, we gave this opportunity to people to, kick 30-yard field goal. And if they made it, they won $5,000. So this was an awesome example of after Christian won, he said, I really want to use the money to for a down payment on a house. So not only was he participating in this sponsorship event at a Husker game, we were able to help him, get a loan for his new home. And then we, got some PR coverage for that. We shared that on social media. So just a good example of how we were maximizing one story across our channels to get that out so people were aware that we were doing this opportunity. Okay, so I just thought it would be helpful to walk through how we think about crafting stories at FNBO. And number one, we try to figure out what are the stories that we want to tell. Again, we have presence in a lot of markets. We have a lot of different stories that we can tell. So it's important for us to think about what is going to be the most compelling, because it takes a lot of time to create videos and film it all and edit it all. So we really try to think about, we have content pillars that we use as a filter and a framework that really help us figure out what products or services do we think are most helping people improve their lives and solve their problems, helping their businesses grow. Which ones do we think are going to kind of stick and create that emotional connection? And we focus on those type, and we want a variety of different content as well. Number two, the power of visuals. So again, we tell stories in so many different ways. We have a very extensive blog on FNBO.com that covers a lot of different topics, which is great. And we usually start there, but then we take it to the next level to say, how can we bring this to life visually? Most people really understand better through visuals. They learn through visuals. And so we think about what are the photos that we can share. And we know real photography drives a lot more engagement than kind of static graphics or stock imagery. So we do a lot of crafting of our photo library just to make sure we have those compelling photos. And then we do a lot of video content because again, most people want to hear it, they want to see it, and it's quick. Our videos on TikTok and Instagram Reels, those can be 15 seconds to 30 seconds. They're really quick and can give an idea of, day in the lives with our employees or financial advice and guidance. Just want it to be relatable and fun and engaging and offer all the different varieties of content types that you can, so people can kind of pick and choose what they want to engage with. If they want to watch a video quick and then they want to read more of the long form blog content, they have the option to do that. But visuals definitely are more compelling and drive a lot more engagement. And then 3, determining your channels is important. What works on LinkedIn is not what's going to work on TikTok. So again, you can take a topic and build that out across all your channels, but you really have to think about who the audience is on each of those channels, and then figure out how can you bring that topic to life in a compelling way. 4, really measuring the impact. So we have a pretty small team for all the different content that we create. So we are creating on average 15 pieces of content across all of our channels on a daily basis. So we want to make sure that we're measuring it, we're seeing what's driving the most engagement, what are people commenting on, what are people sharing, because we want to focus on creating more content that they're engaging with. And we use SEO a lot just to figure out, what are people searching for? What are people engaging with? We look at that on a daily basis so we can evolve our content based on what people are really seeking. Gonna come up. So 5 is involving influencers. So I kind of talked to this before, but we have partnered with Elise Lyons is a great example of a financial influencer who we've partnered with. And we create a lot of financial advice and guidance. And she was actually a customer who was already talking about FNBO on her channels. And she had a pretty strong following and really great engagement. So we decided to, officially partner with her on creating some additional content. And we've leveraged her content in branch, on screens. And again, we're a financial institution. We focus a lot on advice and guidance. And so it was just a great way to have somebody else talking about our brand and our product. She was already a customer, but she was very passionate about the tools, the products, and the services that we provided. And we've seen great impact from that. She gets direct messages from people saying, this is so valuable, I trust you, and now I want to be a customer as well. So 6 is empowering employees. We started a brand ambassador program about 8 years ago, and it's been exciting to see how much it has evolved. I mean, your employees are your biggest brand ambassadors, and we give them content ideas, but we kind of let them run with it because that's what makes it authentic. And it extends the reach of our brand from, and it's authentic from their own perspective on what they're experiencing as an employee. And they create some really awesome content that, sometimes we'll leverage on our FNBO channels as well. We do a monthly meeting. We highlight kind of some of their content that has driven the most engagement. But it's not really set. We say, share on one channel a week, but most of them are sharing on multiple channels, multiple days a week. So they're heavily engaged and they're really active. So that's our employee brand ambassador program. We also have, we started this year a advocacy tool. We push that out to all employees where we put content into this platform, and all you have to do is click a button to share the content on any of your social media channels. So most people are sharing on LinkedIn or on X, Twitter, but some people will share on Facebook as well, depending on the content. But we made it really easy for people to understand what they can share, because we heard that feedback from employees too. Like, we really want to share more on social media, but we're afraid to. We don't know what to share. And, we have a lot of regulations when it comes to banking. So all the content that we put into this tool is already approved by legal and compliance. So everyone feels comfortable sharing that. And it's a really powerful way just to reach people across multiple markets and audiences. Okay. Looks like it's stuck again. All right. We'll move on. Creating a storytelling strategy. So on this page, I have a few examples of how we partnered with Elise, who was the financial influencer that I mentioned. So again, having a kind of structured approach and making sure that anything you're doing from a content storytelling perspective aligns with your brand objectives, and, you know, reiterating your, making sure your content that you're creating is aligned with the personas and the audiences that you're trying to reach across your channels. So just as you're thinking about what are those stories that you want to tell for your brand or for your service, you know, choose the right channel based on the audience, and really try to figure out what do you think is going to add the most value for your customers. So again, here's just a few examples. We partnered with her on how to spring break staycation on a budget, how to best use your tax return, things you can do outside for free, and how she saves money on groceries. So it's really authentic. It's what she's doing every day. And she weaved in how FNBO is a partner of hers to be able to do these things. So what about negative stories? So I talked a lot about positive customer stories that we curate, but we also spend a lot of time looking at whatever comments, potentially negative stories that are online. We want to make sure, you know, we're monitoring that on a daily basis. We're responding, you know, ideally, we're responding within an hour. Depending on the comment, it may take a little more research. We may have to, you know, better understand the situation, but it's very important to respond to any negative comments that you're getting, or just questions that you're getting in general from customers or prospects, because we want to make sure we resolve it quickly. And then we are posting, if it's, you know, not a direct message and it's online for everyone to see, we want to make sure we're answering it so everyone understands that, you know, we're working together quickly to try to address this and solve this problem. And then we can also, you know, look at if it's kind of a trending topic that we're seeing come up multiple times, then is it a bigger issue that we need to address? If customers have feedback on a specific product or something in the mobile app, like we want to know all of that feedback and categorize it and see, is there, you know, something that we should work on evolving for any of our products and services to make that a better experience. So just kind of wrapping up on why you should tell stories. It really can be one of the most effective communication styles. People relate to stories, and, you know, telling marketing messages are great. There's a time and a place for it, but the stories make it more memorable, and people relate to them more. They'll likely remember the story versus the specific marketing message that you've shared. So just kind of hope that everyone understands from this presentation that it is important to tell stories, engage your employees as much as possible, because they're a great way to tell the stories. Influencers, if that makes sense for your brand, to engage with people. And they can be like very micro influencers. They can be influencers that are just in, you know, in a smaller market. We don't engage with really like nationally known influencers like some brands do. But it's important to look at, what are they talking about? Are they, do they represent the same values that your brand or service does? Because that's important. You want to make sure that they're representing you in an authentic way. Again, be vulnerable in the stories that you're telling. Create kind of share the conflict and the resolution in those stories. Think about, what is the purpose? Are you trying to, secure like a new customer, or are you trying to tell what kind of job opportunities you have at your company? Because the day in the lives work really well to help do that. And you can do it pretty easily. Everybody has a phone now, and you can get out and create videos just on your phone. It takes a little more time editing them, but it is just, a fun way that people will engage with your brand more. So, really just start thinking about what stories you find compelling and what might unlock that, potential for your brand or service, or makes somebody choose you as an employer, or what's going to make them choose you based on having that more relational, emotional connection in the future. So with that, I'd love to hear any questions that you guys have. Obviously, I'll send this presentation out because weren't able to hear the video and the slides were lagging a little bit, but hopefully you got a sense of how we approach storytelling at FNBO and the impact it can have on your business.
So I have a question. So like for small businesses, what is something that they could maybe like focus on today to kind of start this process of like the storytelling and even the videos that you were mentioning?
Yeah, I think a small business, just think about what is maybe the biggest challenge that they're facing, and then create a video or even take photos. And you can tell a story in just the social post copy as well, but just think about what challenges that you're facing and what is a way to potentially have a solve for that. But yeah, honestly, it's just kind of getting out there and getting started. So I'll use my friend as an example, who has a couple clothing boutiques. She's like, I need to have, people always want to know how they can wear, one piece of clothing, like take it from, spring to fall. And so I was like, well, you should have somebody wear your clothes and show how you could do that. She's like, oh, what do I do? Like, just take out your phone and record somebody. Anybody would probably, any one of your customers would probably be fine doing this. So she started doing that, and she was like, oh, wow, that really helped drive business, because people don't want to spend, money to just wear something one season. They want to see how they can make it transitional. So it's just, one example of thinking about, how can you solve for that? Or I'm thinking like of a coffee business. Like, okay, if you want to drive new customers, a lot of people love like trending kind of flavors of the season. So making sure that you're, thinking about that. You can easily kind of look online and see what are trending topics. I mentioned that we focus a lot on trending holidays, but we also look at what's trending on any given day. And sometimes we'll just say, oh, this is trending, we got to go hurry up and create a video on it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great advice. So thank you. And it looks
You're
like
welcome.
we had some questions come
Yeah.
on. So the first one is from Amy. And she said, for highlighting business partners, is there a source that you are using for the random holidays, or picking which are featured as a partner?
Yeah. So a really easy way to start to look for national trending holidays, you can just Google it, or ChatGPT now will give you a lot. So that's a helpful way just to start. Like if you're looking, okay, what are trending holidays for, 2024 for the rest of the year? And you could say, even depending on the business, give me some thought starters on video or photo ideas. It's amazing. It's not, don't take it, like I always kind of look at ChatGPT and then I do some more research myself because sometimes it's not correct. But it is a good way to start. And then I usually double check by Googling or doing a little more research.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a great kind of collaboration tool to get the thoughts rolling. So definitely,
Yeah.
I love ChatGPT. So Lucy asked, how can we involve influencers in a small community who would be good and then / who would be good influencers in small communities?
Yeah. I think you start, so similar when I was looking for employee brand ambassadors, I searched on Facebook. I mean, you can search on Instagram and again, Google. If you know anyone who's already passionate about your product or service, so you can look online, also think about offline. If there's someone who you know that's like, I absolutely love this store and it's the only place I go to, or this is the only service that I'll use, they're the best. So think about who is already kind of doing that word of mouth, whether it's online or offline. That would be a great place to start for influencers. And then depending on, what the product or service is, you might want to look at a specific demographic. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I leverage my kids a lot because they're 13 and 16 and they know a lot on what's going on, from what's trending, who influencers are. So I'll always double check with them to see what they think is interesting.
Yeah, that's good. Just, try to use your resources around that are on those apps and stuff. So yeah. And then I think this is our last question here from Amy again. For videos for a small business, is there certain equipment or apps that you recommend to be used with a phone?
Yes, great question. So we use CapCut a lot. It's pretty easy to use. And we just use the free version. And this isn't video, but Canva, if you're, need to develop something super easy and quick. We also can use the free resource for that. It's a really easy way. I'm not a graphic designer, would never claim to be, but I can create something pretty easily that will work from a social media perspective in Canva or CapCut.
Yes.
And again, I think it's just practicing, right? I think people are like, oh, it has to be perfect. And that's honestly not what people engage with. And it's not as real and authentic. Sometimes it's really just the, really quick version on your phone that people are like, okay, well, I get what they're trying to do. And the more you do it, the better you'll become at it too. And if you think about what people are engaging on TikTok, I mean, it's it's not highly produced content. It is just, somebody's creating something quick on their phone that's usually either funny or educational or, providing entertainment.
Yes. And I know I've used CapCut, but yeah, TikTok has like still those editing features. So definitely, I think very similar to CapCut. And then yeah, Canva, we actually use Canva at Grow too for all our stuff. So definitely highly recommend all those apps. So, and all that, but.
And I think it's just, kind of have fun with it and see what works and what doesn't work. Because as I mentioned, we look at what are people engaged with and try to create more of that content. But it is funny, sometimes we'll think, oh, this one is the one that people are really gonna love. And we're like, oh, we got no engagement on that. Why? And then something that we're like, oh, let's just do this. And we're like, that one drove the most engagement. So it's, just testing a lot of different ideas and getting creative and just kind of having fun with it.
Yes. Yeah, that's really good advice. So thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that was our last question, but I'm gonna start closing us out. So if I could get the screen share.
Yeah, sorry. I will stop that. And I will send this to you if you want to send it out because I feel bad that it wasn't working as well as it should.
And I think I found the Bianchi candle one on the video YouTube link, so I'll just make sure to include that also in my follow-up.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And just for anyone, if you have any last burning questions while I'm closing up, feel free to answer them in the chat and we'll get them answered before we wrap up today. But I'm gonna reshare my screen here and get going. So once again, thank you, Regina, for presenting today. We really appreciated it. And just a small tidbit, Regina is presenting at one of our breakout sessions at Market Tech. And so if you want to come and engage in person and learn more from her, please save the date. I have a slide here, so I'll have the dates pulled up, but just wanted to throw that tidbit in. So first, we're going to go over our upcoming training. So on August 7th, we have a Google training with Maria, and it's Thriving at E-commerce, Nail It Before You Scale It. And then August 15th, we have Building Business with Social Media, and that's with V2 Graphics and Marketing. And then September 4th we'll have Maria back, and it's Get Customers, Market, and Moments. And if you'd like to scan this QR code, you can check out all our upcoming trainings. But really quick, I'm just going to send in the chat a link to our upcoming trainings and our Google review link. And so that way you have a quick link to those. And then back to Market Tech, we have, we ask that you save the date for March 25th and 26th. We have our keynote Chelsea coming from Phoenix, Arizona, and she's going to do a session on, there's going to be, I think, video, Instagram, and all that fun stuff. And then also you can meet Regina here in person. And so we ask that you just mark your calendars and save the date for March 25th and 26th. We should have registration up and going in August for that. And then Grow Nebraska has launched open office hours with myself and Jody. And so you can scan this QR code here to sign up. Or if you go under trainings and events on our website, it's just under open office hours. You do not need to be a member to join them. If you'd like to just know more about Grow Nebraska, that's a really great place to sign up. But for members, this would be a place where you can come in and get your questions answered about Google, social media, Grow Nebraska membership, and all of that fun stuff. And then I highly encourage you all to follow us on social media. We post a lot of content on there about any events, about our members, products, our trainings, and all that. And so if you are not following us, I just highly encourage you to follow us on social media. And then I did send that Google review link in the chat, but if you'd like to just scan this QR code and just let us know your thoughts on the training today, or if you've participated in past trainings, you can let us know as well about those. And then I'd like to just thank you one more time for joining our training today. If you do have any questions or suggestions on any topics you'd like to see, please contact me. My name is Tanya. You can call our store number at 308-338-3520, or you can email me, tanya@grownebraska.org. And then I'm going to stop sharing here and see if we had any questions come in. Doesn't look like we had any questions come in, so I will just wrap us up today. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Thursday and have a great weekend.